Hi, Dan Dearden, founder of Just Right Heating and Cooling. Today I'd like to talk to you about a question that we get a lot from our customers, and that is, what size of air conditioner or what size of furnace do we need? There are many different sizes, and it can be quite confusing. So it's not a very simple answer, but the only way that you can know what size of furnace or air conditioner you need is to do an analysis of the home. Take, for example, this home behind us here, okay? It has lots of glass facing south, okay? Now, if you took this exact same home and turned it facing east or turned it facing west, and its heating and cooling needs are completely different. And so we have to look at all of the things that involved in a home. How much glass it has, which direction it faces. We need to know the insulation in the walls. We need to know the insulation in the attic. There are all these factors that we put into our calculations to determine what size of an air conditioner you need. Often we also get somebody who says, well, isn't bigger better? No, bigger is not better. I always like to use my favorite example is, okay, I need to get a carton of eggs. So I can either take my Honda Prius to get a carton of eggs, or I can take my Dodge Ram V10 truck to get a carton of eggs. Well, all I need is a carton of eggs. So obviously the Honda Prius is going to get that carton of eggs and back to my house using a lot less energy, okay? That's the way it is with heating and air conditioning equipment. Bigger is not always better. As a matter of fact, most of the time it's worse. Think about highway miles versus city miles. City miles, your car is starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping. That's hard on the brakes, it's hard on the engine, and it gives you much worse gas mileage. That's the same with furnaces and air conditioners. If it's always starting and stopping and starting and stopping, it's going to wear it out quicker, and you're going to get much less energy efficiency out of it. So bigger is definitely not better. So the reason why a furnace or an air conditioner that's too large stops and starts and stops and starts is it's pretty basic. If you have a big furnace in a little house, it's only going to run for 5 minutes and heat it up and then shut off. And then it runs for 5 minutes and heats it up and shuts it off. And you say, well, Dan, that's great. It only ran for 5 minutes. But you got to look at the other issues. Starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping really is hard on equipment and bad for your energy efficiency. If I had the absolute perfect size furnace in my home, on the coldest day of the year, the furnace would come on in the morning and it would run all day long and shut off at night. When I tell that to customers, they look at me with this crazy look, say, Dan, it's running all day. Isn't that going to cost me a fortune? And I say, no, think of it, highway miles and city miles. A big furnace starting and stopping and starting and stopping all day will actually use more energy than a smaller furnace running all day long. So bigger is never better. So, you know, in your house, you've got that one vent. It's probably in the bathroom that just blows like heck and heats the bathroom up really quick. Well, the rest of the house is freezing, okay? That's also another symptom of having too large of equipment. Let me just kind of explain that. If it was a smaller furnace, okay, then it would be running longer, and that would give your whole house a chance to catch up and be the same temperature. So having the right size equipment not only saves you energy, but it makes the whole house a much more comfortable temperature, getting that long, even run time. Often when I'm talking to customers about the size of their system, they're confused as to why they have such a big system to begin with. And so I have to tell them, well, if you think about it, when a general contractor is building a home, he only cares about one thing. He cares that when it's really cold outside, you don't call him and tell him the house isn't warm. And so he wants the biggest piece of equipment in there he can possibly have so that that doesn't happen. Unfortunately, he doesn't care about your energy bill, and he doesn't care about the fact that your bathroom is just a little bit too hot. He just cares that you don't call him on Christmas Eve and say, my house is too cold, okay? So that's why you have a big piece of equipment to begin with. Really, the only way to know what size of heating and air conditioning system that you need for your house is to have a professional come and do an evaluation and do a calculation to find out what size of heating or cooling system you need. Analyze your duct system to make sure that the air will go through it properly and that you'll have an even distribution through your home. Thanks for listening. I'm Dan Dearden, founder of Just Right Heating and Cooling, where you're always just right.
You're never too hot, you're never too cold, you're always just